Assailants entered this house here on Holly Hill Sunday night and pumped 6 bullets into 42-year-old Bryan Stout. Last night, a Dallas motorcycle officer was arrested for that murder, along with Stout's wife Mary and 3 other suspects. Police traced the murder weapon, a .38 caliber revolver, to Officer John Singletary. He allegedly supplied his own weapon for the killing, and he was stripped of his duties last night after the arrest. Murder charges were also filed against grocery store owner Mrs. Helen Cundiff, an employee, 18-year-old Lester Weber, and 28-year-old Pamela McDougal. Stout's wife and the McDougal lady are both free on $2,500 bond each. Bond was refused to former Officer Singletary and the 2 other suspects. The news of a policeman charged with murder sent shockwaves through the Dallas Police Department, and we got this reaction from Chief Souter.
Naturally, we're embarrassed, to say the least, at the fact one of our officers has become involved in a crime. However, I'd like to point out at this time that I feel that we will overcome this embarrassment and pledge our best to the citizens of Dallas. I can also point out that it was good police work that brought about this apprehension and detection.
Detectives have been interrogating the suspects and the Stouts' neighbors all day long, but as of yet they haven't come up with a clear-cut motive for the murder. Captain Jack Davis of the Homicide Division says that evidence indicates that Singletary and the 4 other suspects met at a nearby residence here Sunday night, and that Singletary visited the Stout home several times before the night of the murder. Police don't believe that Singletary actually committed the murder, but they say his knowledge of it, and allegedly the use of his own weapon for it, makes him a principal in the case. Martha McIntire, Channel 8 News on the Move.
I had weak knees and butterflies the rest of the day, and naturally I'm flattered to receive this nomination, and I do not have words to express my true feelings.
Present time.
The agreement between the St. Louis Blues and the Detroit Red Wings was reached late this week. At the same time, the number of players that each team will supply to the Fort Worth operation has yet not been determined. Consequently, with the termination of the Kansas City franchise, the Central League will return to a 4-team league operating with Fort Worth, Dallas, Tulsa, and Omaha. The present plans are for the Central League and the Western League to operate on an interlocking schedule, with each Central League team playing the Western League teams a total of 24 times, or playing 12 games on the West Coast, and the West Coast teams playing 12 here. The respective division playoff winners will then compete in a final championship series.
I think it'll be they're all tough games, but I think that we'll beat them. We're playing well at the moment, and we've started to accept our chances. Against Atlanta on Saturday, it could have been 6, 7, 8. Just a matter, once we had our 3 goals, we just kept the ball, we made them do the running, and we just kept playing. And we've got more ability than most sides, any side in this league, I think. Perhaps Rochester.
Do you think you'll be looking forward to St. Louis down in Miami?
Oh, yes. We're looking forward to creating them if we possibly can.
They'll be here a week from Saturday, won't
That's right.
they?
Yes. St. Louis are very, I think they're the most difficult side for us to play against, because we always score first against them, and we seem to have this thing in the back of our minds saying, well, they're going to equalise. This has happened the last 4 or 5 games we've played them.
Thank you very much, Merle. You were kind enough not to say I was well loved by some of the people. Year-by-year budget items. Those are maintenance items. What we mean by maintenance is, I would say, as we look around at these young kids that have been here today, and as we look around at the needs of the city of Dallas, we must solve these basic problems that we have today while we can afford them. Because if we put it off till next year or year after next, the city of Dallas may not be able to afford them. And with those new projects, when we
have it laid out.
1:30, I'll answer one more, and the president's.
Great. We're giving the complete information in this ad, and I think we ought to do it several times, but I hope the last couple of days we're going to concentrate on getting people out to vote.
Have we decided we're going to go through these for the drop-in?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, those would be the drop-ins.
Well, this is where the precinct organizations make
Building up, which was not part of the context, but it is worked that way. Okay. All right, now look, see if we pull this thing this way, we pull this, each one of the issues. Fascinating one, and this is the first station that the United Church of Christ got involved in trying to renew their license.
I know about that.
Yes.
The one antenna served well. Now we desperately need a new communication center with a tower to hold 40 antennas, so that when you call for an... I'm Wes Wise. This is...
They've got the bond campaign. Right, I bet.
Bond Information Center.
It would seem the people trying to sell this bond issue are in an enviable position, since they have no organized opposition. The very fact there is no organized opposition is what worries them. But they won't have to worry for very long, just until Tuesday. Then the voters of Dallas will tell them if their selling campaign met with success. Jack Hill, Channel 8 News on the Move.
Licensing, let me say this, it would get all of the stigma out of the bond business. First of all, we would have a minimum age requirement, maybe 21 years of age. Secondly, we would have each person that wants to be a bondsman take a test. And third, we would look at his criminal record and see if he has a felony on his record. Now, if he does, it's up to the party involved to see if they should let him make bonds. But by having the minimum age requirement, also, I forgot to stipulate, I believe that you should have a residence requirement in the state of 6 months. This keeps the people from other states coming in, making that fast dollar and leaving. All right, the resident requirement, the testing, and the felony on your record. Now, each bondsman should be issued a license, and he would carry it with him.
Well, how would this licensing get rid of bond hustlers?
Well, by, as I mentioned before, having the bondsman licensed, you would have each one of his employees licensed under him. Therefore, if someone had a grievance, they would report it to the body which is organized over the bondsman, which would take these grievances. They would then come to the bondsman directly, tell what grievance had been done by what employee, and he could be fined for this action. This way you would get these bond hustlers out of the jail.
Is there any indication now that you may have to take it to court?
Oh, I don't think so. I think that between the city and the school board, they're going to be able to work this problem out. I'd certainly hope so.
What, from the beginning, gave the school district the impression that they did own the property where the stadium stands now?
Oh, I really don't know. Their attorney has looked into this matter, and there's some indication in some of the papers and some of the statutes and this sort of thing that leave the matter maybe kind of up in the air, and so they would have maybe some reason to think, yes, that maybe they own it, and the city thinks maybe they do.
Hello, baby. Look real cute. I think I have talked enough now.
We have here the American flag, the Lone Star, and the City of Dallas flag, and this is the way things get done. It's got to be all of us together in a partnership together, helping one another.
Here in the La Bajada section of West Dallas, many families neither speak English nor have transportation to get to Parkland Hospital for medical treatment. For years, the number one priority here has been a health clinic. Today, after 18 months of effort by Congressman Jim Collins, City Council representatives, and many other groups, the health clinic near the Baton Community Center was dedicated. The building was made possible through a federal grant of more than $118,000 from the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare. The building itself is still empty, but before long, officials say they'll have medical equipment moved in and doctors and dentists attending the 6,500 people who live in La Bajada and Los Altos. Phil Reynolds, Channel 8 News on the Move.
He can bust that ball.
The scene is the Oak Cliff Kiwanis Club. The featured speaker is Dallas City Councilman Jerry Gilmore, and the scene is a familiar one for Gilmore. He's been averaging about 3 of these speeches a week, urging support for the bond issue. Gilmore isn't the only member of the Dallas City Council speaking for the bond issue on this day. Others are doing the same. All this is part of a $100,000 campaign coordinated by these men, executives of one of the leading public relations firms in Dallas, a firm which has a perfect track record for promoting bond issues. And now they're trying to win again with an advertising campaign that's been financed by donations. The campaign also is backed by the city's largest advertising agency, another firm with vast experience in promoting such issues. And it's here that much of the campaign's artwork is turned out. The artwork takes many forms, full-page newspaper ads, for example, timed to appear just a few days before the election. Television advertising featuring Mayor Wes Wise is the other single most expensive item in the campaign budget, accounting for about $40,000. The message also goes out on local radio. All the major stations in the market are airing spots on the bond issue, and to ensure that the word gets to all segments of the community, time even has been purchased on a Spanish-speaking station. And another $6,000 has been spent on billboard advertising, utilizing locations on many of the city's major thoroughfares. In addition to all this, there's a city bond information center in a downtown office building. The space was donated, and the building isn't finished yet, but the center has been receiving about 50 calls a day.